The wedding between Shen Yue and Dylan was expected to be glamorous, heartfelt, and filled with beautiful moments, but no one could have predicted the raw emotion that would pour out during Shen Yue's surprise speech, leaving not just Dylan, but the entire room in tears. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any updates on your favorite celebrities and exclusive behind-the-scenes moments like this one. Now, let's rewind and look at everything that led to this moment, because the story behind Shen Yue's speech goes deeper than most people realize. For fans who followed her journey over the years, this was more than just a marriage, it was a full-circle moment years in the making. Shen Yue has always been known for her warm, genuine personality, but she's also been incredibly private about her personal relationships. While her rise to fame through hit dramas like Meteor Garden made her a household name, she never used her platform for showy displays of romance. Her bond with Dylan, by contrast, developed quietly, away from the spotlight, in a way that almost no one saw coming. Their love story began in the most unexpected way. According to close friends, they first met during a low-key industry event nearly 3 years ago. Dylan, a behind-the-scenes creative at the time, wasn't someone most fans would recognize, but he had been deeply involved in production work for several major projects. The two connected over a shared appreciation for art, music, and authenticity, qualities often lost in the fast-paced world of entertainment. What started as casual conversations turned into deep, late-night discussions. Friends of the couple say it was clear from the beginning that something special was forming. But still, neither of them were in a rush to label it. Shen Yue had just wrapped a particularly grueling filming schedule, and Dylan was transitioning between creative projects. The timing wasn't perfect, but the connection was. Over time, that connection deepened. Dylan wasn't someone who chased the limelight, and perhaps that's exactly what made Shen Yue feel safe with him. There was a quiet understanding between them, no need for performative affection or grand gestures, just consistent presence and quiet support. In interviews, Shen Yue never mentioned him by name, but she would occasionally allude to someone who understands her without words. At the time, few connected the dots. Now, it all makes sense. Fast forward to the wedding day. Set in a picturesque countryside venue in Zhejiang province, the ceremony was intimate and understated, just like the couple themselves. Only close friends and family were invited. No media, no fanfare, just the people who had walked alongside them throughout their journey. The decor was simple but elegant. White blossoms hung from wooden arches, soft piano music played in the background, and handwritten notes were left at each table from the bride and groom expressing their gratitude. It was already an emotional day for everyone, but nothing compared to what happened during Shen Yue's speech. Most expected her to stick to the script, a few sweet words, a thank you to the guest, maybe a little humor. But Shen Yue had something else planned entirely. With a small microphone in hand and her eyes locked on Dylan, she began speaking in a tone that immediately caught the attention of everyone in the room. She didn't start with a thank you. She started with a story. A story about the first time she doubted herself as an actress. It was years ago, and she was facing mounting criticism about her performance, her looks, and her place in the industry. She had just come home from a long day on set and found herself questioning whether she even belonged in this world. That night, she received a message from Dylan. At the time, they were still just friends. He told her he had watched a scene she did 3 times over, not because it was perfect, but because it was honest. He said she had something rare, something unpolished and real. And that the world didn't need perfect, it needed honest. That message, she said, changed everything. From that point on, Dylan became her anchor. Not just someone to celebrate with during the good moments, but someone who sat with her in the hard ones. She told the guest about nights when she couldn't sleep from anxiety, and he would stay up with her in silence. About days when she wanted to quit, and he reminded her of why she started. She paused, taking a breath. Then, she said something that caught everyone off guard. I didn't choose you because I needed someone to love me. I chose you because you remind me to love myself. It was in that moment that Dylan, seated in front of her, visibly broke down. Tears streamed down his face as he listened. This was not a woman reading a pre-written speech. This was someone speaking from the deepest parts of her soul. And as she continued, the room grew completely silent. She spoke about vulnerability. About how scary it was to open up, to truly let someone see you. Not the public image, not the edited version, but the real you, with all your insecurities, fears, and flaws. And how Dylan never once flinched. Never once tried to fix her. Only stood beside her, always holding space. I realized, she said, that love isn't about finding someone who makes the world quieter. It's about finding someone who can sit with you in the noise, and never leave. By now, even some of the guests were wiping away tears. Dylan stood up, walked over to her, and without saying a word, just hugged her. It wasn't dramatic or overdone. It was soft. It was real. And that hug said more than any speech ever could. Afterwards, friends said they had never seen Dylan cry like that. He's usually the quiet one, the composed one, the guy who holds it all together. But Shen Yue's words unlocked something in him, something years in the making. Because those weren't just beautiful words. They were a culmination of a quiet, consistent love that had grown over time, nurtured without spectacle or expectation. And it didn't end there. After the ceremony, the couple released a short, handwritten message to fans, posted quietly on Shen Yue's personal blog. It read, "We never planned for a perfect love story. Only a true one. Thank you for giving us space to grow, to fail, and to find each other. We hope you find your person, too, someone who hears the words you don't say. No PR statements. No media interviews. Just that message." It's rare in today's world to see a relationship that feels so grounded, especially in the entertainment industry. But Shen Yue and Dylan seem to have built something different, something lasting. The next day, social media was flooded with praise for the emotional depth of the ceremony. Though no official video was released, a few guests shared snippets from the evening. In every clip, you can see Shen Yue's eyes shining, not from the lights, but from the vulnerability she allowed herself to express. As for Dylan, those tears weren't just about the words spoken. They were the release of years of quiet understanding, finally voiced, finally witnessed. And maybe that's the takeaway here. We often think of love as something loud, something explosive, something you shout from the rooftops. But real love is quiet. It listens more than it speaks. It sees what isn't obvious. And it stays, even when it's hard. Shen Yue's wedding speech reminded everyone that love doesn't need to be perfect to be beautiful. It just needs to be true.